All right, let's go ahead and get started here. How's everyone doing? We're coming into a fresh week. It's very exciting. I took the weekend off and try to take your mind off stocks, but Monday always rolls around, and I'm always very excited. I woke up a little earlier than usual. I was pretty pumped, but I am coming in today with a pretty nasty loss. But with respect to the P&Ls that I've had every day kind of last week, you may have noticed that I have been taking a little bit more risk on lately. So with that in mind, the result today, I will say, could have been a lot worse. And you can see my P&Ls of all the stocks I traded today, and AMC really was the big trade that I took today. And I was saying in the Discord this morning, in the voice chat for those who were there, I was saying that I had a very strong bias on AMC for the long side this morning based on where it was opening up and what the daily chart looked like. So given that, I took a pretty heavy position on AMC and kind of averaged down to it, and it did take AMC to not work out the way that I wanted it to for me to kind of end up with the loss that I ended up with. So let's start with the recap. I'm going to start chronologically as always, but with this one, really, it's going to, wow, look at that. With this one, really, it's going to be just AMC, although there'll be a couple other things that I point out as well. But AMC, again, was the main trade that I took today. And you can see my first entry long was before the market even opened up. I was really looking at this daily chart and, again, formulating a bias on what I thought it was going to do today. And what it ended up doing today was pretty much the opposite of what I thought it would do. And let me try to illustrate this a little bit better. But based on where it was opening, it was a gap up from last week. Really what I was looking for on the daily chart was, instead of kind of the pullback we got, the pullback we got was, just a little bit more severe than I would have expected if we saw a pullback today. But what I really wanted to see today was actually a green bar like this, or maybe even bigger, and taking us up to $70 again. Something like this. I'm really doing a terrible job, but really I was looking for that stair-step action to continue today, but that did not happen. So anyway, I got stuck in a bad kind of spot here on AMC, and not only did it go red, but it just kind of kept going red. And you can see all my ads here, and I got very little out of this as it just kept coming down. So my initial long was only 100 shares. I thought I want to be long this before the open because this could rip off the open. Anyway, there was choppiness at the open. It had one move to $63, which I was up on the trade very briefly. And then as it came down, you can see I added to this multiple times here, 50 shares in front of VWAP, looking for that to act as support. Then we broke to a new low. And I thought, this isn't unusual. I was saying out loud to myself and others that I was willing to be patient on AMC today. Even though there might be choppiness at the open, we may come down to a new low here. I was very confident that eventually we'd get a test of VWAP and then come higher. But it, as it kind of faded off again, I thought, okay, let's be patient on it here. It looks like it's gearing back up again, but it doesn't get there, comes back around, and then this would have been the spot to stop out, and I should have. But I didn't. I thought, I said I was going to be patient on AMC today. I don't want to stop out of this. I want to give this one a lot of room to come back up. And AMC is a big mover. It can have big moves. It can be red at, for that entire morning period. And then in lunchtime, it can, very easily move from 59 to 62. That's only $3. I say only $3. It's a big move, but not really for AMC and what it's capable of. You see days like this. This is really kind of more of the day that I was expecting today. And I know what you're thinking. Like, really? You really thought it was going to have this crazy move from 60 to 70? Just based off what the daily chart was telling me and the pullback day on Friday, yeah, I did actually think that that was a possibility. And I wanted to be in with size if that was going to happen and really hit a home run out of it. But that did not work out. And it just kept coming down. And there was, of course, that element, that emotional element to it of like, I don't want to stop out of this trade. I don't want to take the nasty loss that it's looking like I'm going to have to take. But ultimately, I did stop out of the trade. I had eventually sized up to 500 shares. I added here, looking for the turnaround, not getting it, and then here we got some sideways consolidation here. But as it became apparent that, okay, this is just a bear flag waiting to break lower, I stopped out of the trade. So you're asking for a computer recommendation. I'm not really the person to go to on that. There's plenty of videos you can look at. I'm more in the trading strategy than the hardware is not as important. Anyway, let me continue. Here I did stop out 500 shares, you can see, and it's a bummer. These 200 shares of add, I stopped out below both of those. So the average downs, they all lost. They were all losers. But at least I did stop out because you can see it did continue lower. It was a bear flag. It did break lower. And then here, this was a mistake. This was just a plain old mistake. Shouldn't have taken that. It looked like it was bouncing here, and I just didn't want to miss it, right? If it was going to have that bounce and going to bounce in the afternoon, I really wanted that entry. I wanted to be in it. I didn't want to miss it, but that was a mistake. I knew that technically speaking, it was unlikely to be that this was the bottom. I knew in the moment that it was a mistake, but of course I jumped in with massive size 500 shares. And then all of a sudden, at this low down here, you can already guess that that was my worst point on the day P&L wise, unrealized. At that spot down here, I was down around, I think, $2,300 of loss on the day on just this stock, $2,300. But I added here, and this was a good add, but I wish, I'd been more patient on. I actually maxed out my buying power with this add right here. I was certain I could take more shares of this. The stock's not overwhelmingly expensive, but of course I wasn't thinking about TD Ameritrade and their restrictions on stocks like AMC and those meme stocks. They do have restrictions in place right now, I believe. So that was a barrier. But anyway, you can see my ad here, 100 shares, 53.69. That's a pretty good ad, if I do say so myself. But only 100 shares. I wish I had gotten all 600 down there. That would have been amazing. Anyway, so then it did finally start to bounce. And with this, it's really not a question of if it's going to bounce. It's just a question of when. And I don't say that lightly with stocks. It's always a question of if. It's always a question of if. I understand that. But in light of the probability, I knew it was very likely that we'd see a bounce on AMC at some point during the day. We're coming into that noon period, lunchtime. Technically, you get lower, or not technically, did I say technically? I mean, typically you get lower volume in that period of the day, in that time of the day. But anyway, then the whole rest of the day was defined by this very slow uptrend. And, I say slow because on a time frame like the 15-minute, you see the sell-off, and this bounce is not very convincing. And then you can see in after hours, we actually broke that downtrend here, or this upward sloping support. Excuse me. We broke that in after hours, so all bets are off now. But here, as we bounced, let's see, what did I end up doing here? I took my profit here, 600 off at break even, pretty much. This was pretty much, I think that was break even from my add of 100 shares. So I took all 600 off the table. Then I got right back in 300 shares, and I said, it looks like it's going to bounce now. And now all of a sudden my bias on this is just going to be play the bounce for the rest of the day. I'm going to assume that this is going to be the low of the day. If it cracks lower than that, then I'll stop out. But I want to carry this forward and see just how high we can bounce on it, but with a little bit smaller size, 300 shares. And so anyway, that dissolved quickly. I added 100 and then another 100. I was up to 500 shares. And then we got a very nice move. I added here beautifully, and then we got this really awesome move up here to $56, almost $57. I had an out at $56.97. I had 50 shares to get out right there, but it missed me by about 6 cents. and backed off that spot, and we never got above 57, and a huge regret here not taking more profit up in this area. Up here at this high on the day, or on this stock, I was only down at that point with this big surge, down only $500 or $600, so that's not bad at all. So I should have definitely, in hindsight, obviously I wish I had grabbed that opportunity, but in the moment I thought, well, it's not too out of, the realm of possibility that we get kind of a move to VWAP here, but that did not happen. So it did back off this spot and come back down. It tested this support line again, and then as it popped back up, I thought, I'm going to take more profit here just to be safe. I took more profit, and then it came back down again, and I thought, oh, that doesn't look good, because usually if you're uptrending like this, right, I'm just going to paint this very simply. What you want to see here is here's a higher high above this high. Then we come down, nice, higher low. Okay, everything's in place, but now, lower high. So all of a sudden, it doesn't look so good anymore. And then we come back down and test this trend line. It's like, okay, that's fine, holds the support, but then in after hours, another lower high. All of a sudden, we're really losing steam, and now we've broken the spot. So, too bad, unfortunate. And as we broke below there, you see I stopped out of my last 300 shares as we broke that downtrend line right there. So, you got to do what you got to do. You got to stop out when you got to stop out. I do wish I had taken all these shares up here, of course. It would have been not so bad. And, of course, I can say I wish I had never traded AMC today because I was red on it. And pretty bad loss. But, just relative to, well, thinking about the size I usually take, my P&Ls day to day, this is something that this is a loss I can make back with two pretty good days. If I have two pretty good days in the market, hopefully I'll be able to make this back. I do want to jump over to a couple other trades I had, if I can type this in correctly. It seems I cannot type this in correctly. Oh, wow. Nice move there in after hours. But here, I did jump into this one. I so am wary and hate small caps in a way. When I was in this trade, I instantly wish I just was looking to get out of it pretty quickly, and I was very impatient with it. This candle came up, and what I immediately disliked was how big this wick was. This wick on the green candle was over half of the size of the total candle. The total candle size is about this big, and you can see the wick is over half of that. That is a red flag to me, and it looks just like it's top heavy already. I'm not sure about it, so all of a sudden I was like, I'm gonna look to get out. I held for 2 more minutes before getting out. On this candle, it surged up. I was up like $150 on the trade, and then as it came down here, I stopped out as this candle turned red, and it looked really bad. Really, I didn't like this candle, but then of course it pops right back up and squeeze up to almost $11. So that's like why these small caps, I just don't, it's not my style. It's so not my style because I know I'm going to be watching a 1 minute chart, and it's just so easy to get chopped out. And here's the trouble. If you look at this red candle and you say, I'm not going to get chopped out and I'm going to hold this position, right? Then what you're ignoring is the fact that this red candle is a bearish sign. There is vulnerability in that it can reverse very quickly in one candle to VWAP if it wants. That's what small caps are capable of. They can move very quickly. And if it retests VWAP here on a double top, it can break through. It can deteriorate extremely quickly. So if you ignore the signs, if you ignore what the chart is telling you, you risk that possibility. Then on the flip side, if you don't ignore the signs, like I didn't ignore this. I got out on it, and I said, that's enough for me. I'm done. I'm out. It broke to a new high and then immediately came back down. For me, I thought a failure was inevitable, but no, it popped right back up. So it's just, you can't have it both ways. You're just gonna, it's gonna feel like sometimes those times where you do ignore what the technicals are showing you, you get punished for it instead of rewarded, which is, in my opinion, how it should be, kind of. You don't want to get rewarded for making the wrong decision. So at least here, I think I made the right decision, and I would have made money if I had done the wrong thing. It's hard to say. Yeah, exactly. If you ignore warning signs, you'll develop a bad habit. That's precisely what I'm trying to say. In my opinion, on something like this, where it's choppy here, maybe 3-4 minutes into this, when you realize that this is kind of sideways action, it is starting to curl. Now you're in the trade and you're in the game, and you're gonna soak this out. And if you don't, I don't know what you're doing. But if you are just in this, it breaks to a new high here and then immediately reverses, and it's a red candle. Just with the knowledge that it's a small cap stock, and just with I've seen the price action on previous days. Just with that context, that's all I need to know that this has the ability to drop quickly as hell. I mean, you see this thing touch 1080, and then all of a sudden it's at 950 in less than 10 minutes. So, that's small cap 101. I'm not foreign to that at all. And now, it's actually made a new high in after hours. So with me, these, look how this is remarkable, by the way, in the open of pre-market. That's crazy. But anyway, it's not my style. It's not what I'm super interested in. Good job going with your gut and intuition. Can't win them all. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It would have been a pretty decent winner here, but oh well. Today you might be rewarded for that bad habit, but tomorrow you're going to get punished for it. Yes, you guys are all hitting the nail on the head there. That's definitely true. And yeah, I mean, for me, it's and with small caps, just with how quickly they move, when those signs are in front of you, you literally sometimes have, seconds to make a decision on whether you're going to cut the position or not. So when I saw that candle flip red, the second I saw that flip red, boom, I was out. I was done. I cut the position straight away because I knew it had the potential to drop 50 cents in 3 seconds. Literally 3 seconds. It's these things move so quickly. So anyway, bummer on that. But again, AMC is the main story, and it does suck. I do feel like I overtraded it today. I don't know. I have mixed feelings because I at one point during the day I was down $2,300 on it, and I'm finishing down $1,100, $1,200. It's I don't know. I think I screwed it up, but I'll be back tomorrow, and knowing that I do take more risk than usual, and this week I am going to experiment this week. This is a disclaimer for you guys. My P&Ls this week might be a little bit crazy. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I am planning this week to size up a little bit and scale up my strategy. I think I messed this one up today, but I'm going to keep rolling with it. And, of course, I'm going to be watching AMC tomorrow. And it's certainly not out of play, but I do want to size up my strategy on it or in the market. Just given my performance in June, I think has been good. And I think, I want to take the next step and scale up a little bit. I haven't, and this is going to be risk that, it is what it is. I'm going to experiment. It's an experiment. So anyway, guys, I want to be full transparency for you here. I did have one pretty big mistake here. Right after I cut that position in AMC and aftermarket, I don't know what was going through my head. I really don't. But I took a short in BlackBerry, which you see the daily range of it today. This, unless you went short off the open, this is not a stock to trade today. It's not. The low is 1230. You get 1290 here. I mean, okay, there's a 60-cent range there, but in comparison to days past, it's had way bigger ranges. The volume on it way lower than previous days. Even in days past, it's had low volume, but you see today the volume was like 2/3 of or almost half of other days. So anyway, this was not a good stock to trade today, in my opinion. Although it was stronger compared to AMC, but for whatever reason, and then you get all the volume gets whatever volume there was in the regular hours, you get about 10% of that in after hours. And for whatever reason, I took a 2,000 share short position here. I don't know. I mean, I almost want to say it was a mouse slip, but it wasn't. I mean, I took the trade. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I thought that gravity was going to bring it down to VWAP pretty quickly. I think I saw like, okay, in a few minutes it came from 1280 to 1270, it bounced and then came down to 1270. I mean, there's no volume here. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. So anyway, here I stopped out of it, and then of course a few minutes later, that's why I said, oh wow, it broke to 1261. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. What's up, Austin? Small caps are tough to trade, way too easy to get burned. Yeah, I mean, like any stock, they move up and down, and you can make and lose money on them. But it's just not really my style. It's not for me, and I think I made that very clear over time. So anyway, all right, guys, that is the recap for today, guys. If you learned something from this, please, guys, hit the like button. I am noticing we got more people in here than you know, it's starting to ramp up a little bit. I uploaded a video last Friday, I believe, or was it Thursday? Thursday, I think. I don't remember, but we got a lot of new people in the Discord. It's starting to get going, which is exciting for me. So if you want to talk about stocks or anything like that, please join the Discord server. Link is in the description. I will be in there tomorrow morning. You can chat with me in the morning when we're talking about stocks, when we're literally trading stock. You should be in there. I don't know why. I mean, if you guys trade in the mornings, you guys should be in there. We got, you know, anyway, it's a good thing going. So if you are interested in it, then please join. Or if not, I will see you for the recap tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully I have a little bit of a brighter P&L to display than today. But you know what? Despite the big loss today, it's not so bad. And I'll be back. I've come back from far, far worse, so my confidence, my steam is not damaged. I am very excited to trade tomorrow morning. I might just get up early and be there in the Discord early. I don't know. It depends. Depends how I wake up. If I wake up well, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'm glad you guys are all here. Please, I want to see you guys in the Discord chatting it up. Let's talk stocks, guys. Come on, let's get down to business here. Okay, we got money to make, or in my case today, money to lose. Anyway, hopefully we'll search for better things tomorrow. Anyway, all right, that's it. Like, subscribe, join the Discord, and that's all I have for you guys. All right, bye-bye.